Okay, if everyone will please take their seats, I am now calling the annual town meeting to order, and I'd like to thank everybody who's here and online. My name is Tom Hurley, and I'm the moderator of this annual town meeting. As we usually start these meetings, I'd like to introduce town officials. So if I call your name, if you please just stand and give a second so they can put a camera on you. First Selectman, James Zioli. Board of Selectmen, Judy Wright Williams, John Carangelo, Margaret Novecki, Mitch Goldblatt, and Ralph Oakenquist. Board of Finance, the Chairman, Kevin Houlihan, Jim Leahy, Kevin Moffett, P.J. Shanley, Joseph Nuzzo, and Patricia Romano. Director of Finance, John Cifarelli. The Tax Collector, Sandy Pearson. Town Engineer, Robert Brinton. Highway Crew Chief, Don Foyer. Okay. Town Attorney, Vincent Marino. No, okay. Superintendent of Schools, Vincent Scarpetti. Okay. Members of the Orange Board of Education, if you're here, if you'll stand. I don't know if
Ken is here.
Ken is here. Anybody else? Mm-hmm. Okay. Chief of Police, Bob Gagney.
Neither one.
And Assistant Chief Max Martins. Registrar of Voters, Janice Casey. And Valerie Spinaci. Okay. If everyone would please stand and face the flag, Ralph Oakenquist will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I now call on Patrick O'Sullivan, our town clerk, to read the notice of the annual town meeting.
Town of Orange, notice of annual town meeting. Notice is hereby given to the legal voters and those persons qualified to vote in town meetings of the Town of Orange that the annual town meeting of said town will be held on Wednesday, May 12th, 2021 at 7:30 p.m. in the gymnasium of High Plains Community Center, 525 Orange Center Road, Orange, Connecticut, for the purpose of taking action at that time upon the following matters. 1, to authorize the Board of Selectmen to sell and convey land acquired by the town through foreclosure of tax liens or by deed in lieu of foreclosure of tax liens. 2, to determine in accordance with sections 12-142 and 12-144A of the Connecticut General Statutes the installment due dates for all property tax, including property tax on motor vehicles. 3, to receive and discuss the report of the budget prepared by the Board of Finance for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2021. By virtue of the Town Charter, Section 2.6C, and a vote of the Board of Selectmen, item 3 shall be voted on by machine ballot at an adjourned town meeting referendum to be held on Thursday, May 20th, 2021, between the hours of 6 a.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the High Plains Community Center, 525 Orange Center Road, Orange, Connecticut, 06477. This is dated Orange, Connecticut, the 22nd day of April, 2021. It's signed by the Board of Selectmen, James Zioli, Mitch Goldblatt, Ralph Oakenquist, John Carangelo, Margaret Novicki, and Judy Williams, and it's attested by myself. Mr. Moderator, it should be noted for the record that the warning and the notice was published in the Orange Town News, a newspaper having circulation in the town on April 22nd, 2021, and I put it on the signpost outside the town hall and on the bulletin board right outside the town clerk's office. It should also be noted for the record that absentee ballots are available, and pursuant to Robert's Rules of Order, I call for the orders of the day.
Thank you. Orders of the day, we will discuss and vote on items number 1 and item number 2. By virtue of the town charter and a vote by the Board of Selectmen, item 3 shall be voted on by machine ballot, and this will be on Thursday, May 20th. Now, as we discuss each of these items, if you wish to speak and address the item, please go to the microphone. Please state your name and address, and you may speak for 3 minutes. If you have a question, the appropriate town official will be given time to adequately address your question. So hopefully we will quickly move through these. We will move now to item number 1. I recognize Ralph Okenquist to make the motion to authorize the Board of Selectmen to sell and convey land acquired by the town through foreclosure of tax liens or by deed in lieu of foreclosure of tax liens.
I will make a motion to authorize the Board of Selectmen to sell and convey land acquired by the town through the foreclosure of tax liens or by deed in lieu of foreclosure of tax liens.
And we have a second. Okay, discussion now will begin on item number 1. If you have a comment you would like to make, please step up to the microphone. Seeing none. Pardon? Let's do a voice vote. All in favor of item 1?
Aye.
All opposed? And any abstentions? Motion passes. We will now move to item number 2, to determine in accordance with Section 12-142 and 12-144A of the Connecticut General Statutes, the installment due dates for all property taxes, including property taxes on motor vehicles. I recognize Sandy Pearson, the tax collector, to make the motion to approve.
Good evening. I make a motion to approve that the taxes on real estate and personal property of $100 or more be due and payable in 2 installments, with the due dates being July 1 of 2021 and January 1 of 2022. Motor vehicle tax bills and those bills under $100 will be payable in a single payment due on July 1st, 2021. Supplemental motor vehicle tax bills will be due January 1st, 2022.
Do I have a second? Do I have a second? We have a second. We will now discuss item number 2. If you have a comment on item number 2, if you will please step to the microphone. Okay, we have no comments on item number 2, so we will move to the motion to approve. And shall we do that by voice vote also? Okay, we will do it by voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And any abstentions? The motion carries. Okay, the discussion for item number 3 is to receive and discuss on the report of the budget prepared by the Board of Finance for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2021. And I will recognize Jim Zioli to open this item.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
If you want to discuss, you can
Yep.
defer to
No,
Kevin.
The Board of Finance, I thank them all for their time and effort. This was quite an interesting year, quite challenging. We've faced many hurdles beyond just the COVID itself in formulating this budget and working hard to make it possible for everybody, and I thank the entire Board of Finance for their effort on that. I think we've seen a very fair situation. We've faced some hurdles that many of you out there in the private world don't realize, and you wonder where are the tax dollars coming from and where are they not coming from and like that. And we had a major hit from United Illuminating this year where they had double listed some assets, which was a hit to the tune of, I think, $10 million gross, John, wasn't it? Which then, if you do the math on that at 32 mill rate, 32.8, it was a significant hurdle that the Board of Finance had to come over, that loss in revenue. That was not a filing by us, that was a filing by United Illuminating. We go by their records as every business that has to submit those forms to the assessor's office. So that was a hurdle that was unanticipated that we had to deal with. And we had to, of course, we support our school systems to the best we can. And I think that's a very important factor for our town. And this year we also faced the question of do we or don't we regarding the purchase of 287 acres and the improvements thereon known as Raceburg Country Club. So that also had to be dealt with. So I think the Board of Finance had a very challenging year. And many people out there have seen articles and all in the newspaper thinking that the town has received, all municipalities have received tens of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars. Nobody's received any money yet. The town of Orange got $134,000, I think, in money to cover some COVID costs, but most all of our costs related to anything with the pandemic were covered by our budget and our operating expenses, whether it be people who had to stay out because of exposure or having COVID themselves, or plexiglass or whatever else may have been required. The state just sent out guidelines this week, and our finance director and assistant finance director will be attending a program this coming week on that as to how and when the appropriate use of those funds, and maybe we'll get an idea on when some of that might be coming down. But at this point, we don't have the answer as to what it can be used for or when it will be coming, but we are hopeful on that, and we've worked very hard towards that. So I'm very grateful for all that has been done with that. And also, in my closing thoughts on this town meeting, I would like to thank Patrick O'Sullivan. Patrick has chosen not to run this coming November for town clerk. Patrick, I think, has been involved in politics for 50 years, probably pretty close to that. He was in the state legislature, he's been on many town boards, he's been the town clerk for numerous years, and 7 days a week, whether it be sun up or sundown or before or after, if there was something that the clerk needed to do, Patrick has been there and has represented the town proudly, as his father and his grandfather both also did. He comes from a long line of public service. His great-grandfather was the first mayor of Derby when they switched from the selectman system to the mayor system. So it's in his genes. And Patrick, on behalf of myself and the Board of Selectmen, we thank you for your years of dedicated service to the town of Orange.
Okay, the chairman of the Finance Committee is also with us here this evening. Would you care to make any statements, Kevin?
I'll be brief.
Thank you.
As Jim said, we presented the budget to the town on April 21st. There's copies of it in the back. The result of this, and Mitch, you always ask every year, there's been no changes since that meeting. till now, so the budget is as it is printed. It represents a 1.56% increase. Unfortunately, we couldn't keep it flat, and that is .51 mils. So if people want to know what their taxes are going to go up, it is 1.56%. And please come out and vote on May 20th.
Are there any questions for the chair?
If there's any questions, please come on item number 3 to the podium.
Seeing none?
Seeing none, we will have the meeting adjourned to the referendum on May 20th. That's Thursday from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., and it will be here, I believe.
Right here.
Meeting adjourned.